In the time between birth and the change of teeth, a child's perception adheres to everything related to gesture and movement. It does so to the extent that at the very moment when they perceive a movement, they feel an inner urge to imitate it. This is a definite law of development in human nature, which I would like to describe for you. While growing into the physical earthly world, inner human nature is developing in such a way that it proceeds initially from gesture and from the differentiation of movement. Within the organism, speech develops from all the aspects of movement, and thought develops from speech. This law has deep meaning and forms the basis of all human development. Everything that appears as sound or speech is the result of gesture, mediated through the inner nature of the human organism. This is all especially typical of the first period of a child's life up to the change of teeth. Gradually, children grow into the world during their first to fourth years of life, and they do so through gesture. Everything depends on gesture. In fact, I would suggest that speaking and thinking occur unconsciously for the most part. They develop naturally out of gesture, even the first gesture. Therefore, we might say, from the first year to the seventh, gesture dominates the life of a child. Gesture in the broadest sense of the word, which lives in a child as imitation. As educators, we must keep this firmly in mind, because up to the change of teeth, children take in only what meets them as gesture. They shut themselves off from all else. If we tell children how to do various things, they really do not hear or take any notice. But when we stand in front of them and demonstrate a way to do something, they are able to imitate the action. Children act according to the way I move my fingers, or they look at something just as I look at it, not according to what I say. They imitate everything. This is the secret of development in children up to the change of the second teeth. They live completely through imitation of what comes to meet them from outside as gesture in the widest possible sense. This accounts for the surprises we experience when teaching very young children. A father came to me once and said, quote, "What can I do? Something terrible has happened. My boy has been stealing," unquote. I said, quote, "First, let's find out whether he really steals. What did he do?" unquote. The father told me that the boy had taken money out of the cupboard and bought candy, which he shared with the other boys. I replied, quote, "I presume that the boy has often seen his mother taking money from that cupboard before going shopping. It is quite natural that he would imitate her," unquote. This was confirmed, so I said, quote, "That is not stealing. It is a natural principle of development in the boy before the change of teeth. He imitates what he sees. He must do so," unquote. In the presence of children, therefore, we should avoid doing anything they should not imitate. This is how we educate them. If we tell them not to do something, it has absolutely no influence on the child before the change of teeth. It might have some effect if you clothe the words in a kind of gesture, perhaps saying, "Now you have done something that I would never do." This is a kind of disguised gesture. It comes down to this. With our whole humanity, we should fully understand how, up to the change of teeth, children are imitating beings. During this time, there is indeed an inner connection between children and their surroundings and everything happening around them. Later on, this is lost. This may sound strange and paradoxical to many today, because they are unable to think correctly about spirit and think only in abstractions. Nevertheless, it is true that the relationship between children and gesture has an innate religious quality. Through the physical body, children are given over to everything that has the quality of gesture. They cannot do other than yield themselves to it.